Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night, the week after Gen Con, where everybody went to Gen Con and did Gen Con stuff, but now it's after that, and that is all done. And so many of us are here, but some of us are not back yet from Gen Con. Sin is notoriously not back from Gen Con. Apparently, they've decided to make Gen Con their world tour, and so they are still touring the world and will return to us upon the end of said world tour. Joey will not be joining us tonight because other people are world touring in his area, and so he is going to be hanging out with them. And so we have tonight Sarah, Alex, John, and Elizabeth.
Hello, America.
But that's plenty enough. So before we get started, we're gonna just go over a few things real quick. Tuesday, in 2 days from now, is the Kickstarter campaign launch for issue 2 of Cogsworth's Clockwork Circus. That's amazing. It's finally here, huh? So we will be, we'll be here, right? We'll be here in the morning at like 10 a.m. Eastern, and for most of the day. We'll be here for almost all the day.
Talk about a world tour.
Yes, a virtual world tour, issue tour. Anyway, we'll be right here doing it, and you can join us for that, and we'll go really quickly around the horn. We're going to start with Elizabeth down there solo on her side of the screen there. What's going on?
I not really a whole lot preparing for upcoming fun stuff. I am going to be playing in a couple of games during the streamathon, which is the 27th and through the 28th. I'm running a game for the streamathon, which I'm super excited and nervous about. But so yeah, that's preparing for that. I have a lot of games to prepare for. And then that's about it.
Very cool, very cool. Moving up to John to tell us about everything.
Hello, everything. So outside of REM, my podcast, Everything is Gay, Even the Straight Stuff, continues apace. I just had a special edition guest that talked with me about the 1996 movie The Craft, with Fairuza Balk, Nev Campbell, Robin Tooney, and Rachel True. And that was a lot of fun because it's nice to shake up what you do normally. And my sci-fi horror audio drama, Surf So You Don't, continues apace. For the Streamathon, which is happening 27th through the 28th, I am getting to live my magical girl fantasy in something called Glitter Hearts, where we're playing like Sailor Moon characters, and I'm super stoked about it. And I'm running 2 different one-shots for the Power Rangers TTRPG, which is kind of a taste of the upcoming New Year Power Ranger podcast, Becoming Mighty and Morphin. That's going to be coming to Alternia Archives and wherever finer podcasts are sold. It's going to be super neat. I love being Zordon. It's so great having all the power and also all the answers, but none of them at the same time, because I never know what my players are going to do, and I'm sure Danny doesn't know anything about that.
It's a head game that all dungeon masters and game masters play with their players.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here tonight and find out more about the world, and I'm excited for Tuesday. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I hope everyone will join us on Tuesday for the good time.
Indeed. All right, so with that, we're going to move really quick to Alex, who always has something exciting to say every week.
It's like you jinx it, Danny. Like you say it, and I'm like, can't live up to that. Just the hype. I got no hype. No, but I did see a play in Chicago today, which was really great to like actually be part of theater scene in real life again, and so it was really great. So if you guys are in Chicago, The Devil Wears Prada was a absolutely amazing, great adoption, like of just like you never know what to expect when they're gonna put a little twist on it. But also like the melancholy of like Angie like trying to find her way and not like finding a job for 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? It took Steve 9 months to find a job after graduation. So 6 months doesn't sound like a long time anymore to find a job. So I was like, they need to update that part. But the rest of it was pretty dead on. Like, yeah, I guess I will do the things that I have to do to make my art. So there we go. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the things that you have to do in order to make your art.
Always, always. Was it a musical?
It was. Hmm?
That's The Devil Wears Prada, the musical.
Right?
I am intrigued.
I hope there was a song called "Oh, You Think This Doesn't Involve You," because I feel like then that can be a song that I can enjoy as Panabon.
Oh, I think you would have enjoyed several of the songs, John.
That's
Yeah.
because I'm very gay. Thank you.
You said you
That
went
helps.
to a play and it was The Devil Wears Prada, and I just immediately my eyes went to John because I was like, that sounds like the most John thing to do would be to go see The Devil Wears Prada on stage.
That would
I bet
be
everybody wore florals during the spring. Oh, groundbreaking.
That line still made it in there. Yep.
all right. Well, Sarah, you actually went to Gen Con. Do you have anything to say to everybody now?
Gosh, it was pretty great. We got to do a lot, network a lot, see a lot, and um, yeah, I kind of want to just make a recording to like say everything that we got to do that wouldn't take up an hour right now. Um, but I will say a lot of good meetings, a lot of cool things coming up with Shadowrun for REM. Um, like a lot of cool things. So keep watching for some of that stuff. Um, but yeah, my biggest souvenir was COVID, so that was my first time. I ended up not going back to Ohio so that I wouldn't infect my grandparents. So I'm in Nashville right now with Bree, because thank God for her.
There you
So
go.
yeah, so I'm finally feeling better. I'm out of quarantine now, and my voice is still a little dry, but um, yeah, I'm excited to see a little bit of Nashville before I head back to Ohio on Friday. So
All right. Well,
I'm for the Kickstarter. That's exciting.
yes, the Kickstarter all day Tuesday. I am going to be here, right? Yeah, and then we're going to talk about it, and then other people come in and out and talk about like their involvement and other folks and this, that, and any other, and we'll talk about
And
the process, the art, the just all the things, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the launch.
we are going to have some special. They asked us as cast to provide some like special moments from previous ventures, so we're going to get to relive seasons 1 and what season are we on? Season 14, season 19 and a half. Whatever
Two,
season
I'd
it
say
is.
this is two. I'd say this is two. This is
Yeah.
year 2. We're calling this
This
year
is
2.
year 2. And then after, I don't know if we're on all day, but after people should stick around to watch in for Shadowrun Chicago, which is coming back on Tuesday. We're back to regular schedule. And Albany will be back tomorrow, and Tuesday will be Chicago, and all is right with the world.
All the streams are back on. That means all is right with the world. Rem is back on schedule. Mostly.
Back on schedule. Shout out to Ava for covering Gen Con TV for me when I couldn't speak.
Way to go, Ava. All right. So with that, I think we've covered pretty much everything that we need to before we get into this game. So with that, let us get into this game because I think it's about that time. Welcome back. Here we are. All right. So it's been about 2 weeks since the last time we were together, and a couple weeks ago, um, some wild and wacky stuff happened. But mostly, we're all in the small town of Aried that is being built up as a rail station between the desert kingdom of Aishan and the northern countries of Ireland. So the train has stopped in Ariad. It's not a scheduled stop, but due to some uh, rail banditry, the train had to make a stop to kind of like repair some damages, maybe change out a couple of cargo cars. There's some extensive damage to some of the cars for the train. And while they were stopped, they got a chance to look into some of the abilities of a new friend, a sort of a living automaton that became known to them during this incident on the train. And then they procured rooms in the hotel for those that the company was paying for to get in the hotel, or some people stayed in their own rooms and on the train, that is. And Perunyia was stopped on the street and asked if she would be interested in checking some things out. And they gave her a place and time and place to meet. And everyone else, just some regular, normal type stuff.
I mean, because we left off with the reveal about Lex, with me in the room that Lex had decided to change into Lampira to be, and just to let you folks know, we're going to pick that up again. We can. I'm not going to stay in that room to wait for whoever is trying to be Lampira, because I don't actually know. But I am going to leave little notes around the room and say, I know what you did, and I'm just going to sprinkle them around the room, and I'm just going to wait to see what happens with that knowledge. That someone knows that I know something. I'm not signing them with my name, but I want someone to know that they're being watched.
Somehow, in some way.
That's going to confuse a lot of innocent people.
Good. And I've done my job.
Undoubtedly.
Also, Danny, just so you're aware, all the research I started doing in the train, and all the testing we did with Rogelio Jr., I'm trying to make kind of a schematic that I can work with the professor on in terms of making me some extended legs, so that I can be taller undercover, and maybe they can do some cool stuff too. Maybe.
Yes, because that is going to be the best disguise in the world. Look at her. She is all legs, all lower legs, too.
Cloak that you can't like, and then they could fit in like the boots and
Have you ever heard of two gnomes in a trench coat? I'm one gnome in a trench coat.
I'm actually just thinking of that scene from Robin Hood where Robin as a fox is dressed as a stork, essentially, and it's like,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, that's a good callback. But yeah, okay, for sure. And I'm making jokes. Y'all are engineers. You'll figure it out. So yeah, that's what you spent your day doing. And at dinner later on that evening, there's a sort of air of frivolity kind of throughout the dining room. This is an unexpected stop, and for reasons that were a little frightening to most of the passengers, but it is kind of nice to get out and actually, especially for a lot of these folks, to sit down and enjoy an actual like meal served to them in a sort of stately environment. So it's a generally joyful atmosphere. Nugatza Senato, however, sitting at the table, does seem a little bit distracted. And from time to time, kind of looks up, and you see that he's like looking towards the door, towards like the maitre d, some of the staff members when they walk by. But other than that, he is still mostly polite as he is sitting with a lot of you at dinner. But not at dinner tonight is Lex and Rogelio.
Can I send him a message mentally and say a mind link and say, is everything all right?
He turns and looks at you and says out loud, oh, I just, word's out that I'm here, and there's some folks that have decided that they need some of my time, and I just, I the executive functions of companies are not my favorite thing to deal with, but duty calls. So yes.
If you need help, you just need to ask.
Oh, it's not anything I need help with. It's just meetings. I don't know if any of you have a lot of experience with meetings with people who feel like they have important things to say but generally don't. That's
Shaylin shrinks down a little, like he might be talking about her.
that's what is now on my schedule. So forgive me if I don't seem entirely present. I'm just waiting for one of the regional manager's people to come in and let me know exactly when and where they would like to meet. So the thing that the rest of you have noticed sitting here is that the initial question was not stated out loud, and so Nugatsa's response seemed to be prompted by nothing at all. But directly to Shaylun, and then Shaylun responded without skipping a beat. So you wonder if Shaylun did some magic-y stuff there. But other than that, dinner does go long. Is there anything anyone is?
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
How are you? How was your day today? How are you doing?
My day was so relaxing. I spent the day reading in my in the train car, and I played my instrument a little bit. It was so nice. How about yourself?
It's really nice. Yeah, it's been a good day. Enjoying the amenities here at the hotel. Yeah,
Well, that sounds nice.
I think they have a piano in the bar, which would be a real treat to people that people really like. What is they called? Key changes. I think they're called, right? They've got those in the piano. They've got things that change in the piano, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, after dinner we can go in there and I can see if they'll let me play.
Yeah, it's always fun to do new and interesting things, and you have such a mastery and skill. It would be great to be able to witness all of your masteries and skills.
Thank you. Yeah, after dinner we'll go in there and see.
You guys are invited to my show tonight too. Well, my show, little fight night that they're having that I am guest appearing at, if you will.
Ooh,
Like
That
seems
sounds like
to
fun.
trigger for me. What has anyone seen Lex or Aurelia? Rogelio?
Now, I've been training all afternoon. I haven't seen either of them.
Oh, Rogelio is resting in the room that we're sharing. Yeah.
I hope Lex is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Lex is a bit of a loner. I'm sure, like, they're just enjoying their quiet time. We're a loud group. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I felt like Lex probably just needed some quiet time.
I feel like you're looking at me when you say that.
I didn't not look at you.
I never noticed that y'all were loud.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say.
Kind of averts her eyes.
Well, it's not every day you have like a giant metal machine come into a train car and try to crush you to death. That was kind of new.
Um, with that comment, I will kind of turn my attention back to the professor and say, I was thinking about Rogelio and I drafted up. I spent my afternoon drafting up some schematics for a, a, a prosthetic piece for my legs to be able to make me taller. To disguise me from, well, but also perhaps there's some of Rogelio's abilities that we could incorporate or expand on into the project. But if you would like, here's my sketches and my notes. Like, um, wouldn't it be neat if there was an oil that could spring forth from the kneecap, and then I could cast some of my fire in that space, and it would make a really big fire, for instance. Things like that.
He turns back to you and then looks down at the schematics that you presented. And as he's looking at these, he just kind of looks over and you you drew these up based on what you've learned about Rogelio so far already?
Yeah, I mean, from looking
Oh,
at events we did earlier.
that's impressive and quite fast work. Huh.
I mean, I spent all day doing it.
But yes, yeah, I suppose so. But I do think it's very interesting, and I would definitely love to take some time to look this over more carefully, especially when my mind is more focused towards such a thing. Certainly.
Well, that would be great. And if you have any schematics as well of any of your construction plans for Rogelio, maybe that will add to it as well, in terms of what I did this based on just looking at the mechanics from the outside. But if you know some ways that we could improve based on the construction that you've done, that would be neat to combine.
I'm sure that with more time and looking at the schematics that I have more thoroughly, I'm sure you will be able to uh, create quite a lot. It looks like just from this and the time and knowledge you have. I am suitably impressed. Um, Indeed. Uh, at that point, his attention is taken completely by something that is kind of happening up near the front of the dining area of this hotel, and you see there um, a man. He's well dressed, he's carrying a top hat. He's got a pair of goggles that are like down upon the top hat, black vest over a white shirt, with a sort of a maroon tie, brown slacks, and he's talking there and looking in your direction as he is doing so, as the person he's talking to, the waitstaff, kind of points over in your direction. And the fellow moves across the restaurant, uh, walking up towards your table. Oh, Nugatza looks back at the rest of you. I think this is probably going to be uh, me stepping away. And with that, the fellow arrives. Good evening, everybody. Professor Senato, I presume. Nugatza nods. Well, excellent, excellent. I am Gerard. I am the foreman here locally for Storike. And the manager asked me to come by and see if you were perhaps ready to exit with me and meet with them. We're very excited to have someone of your esteem here in Ariad and giving us a moment of your time. With that, Nugatsu sort of just nods. Yes, yes. I will. I'm ready. Turns to the rest of you. If you will, excuse me, a moment.
Is he close enough that I can slip a note in his pocket, or is he on the other side of the table?
Sure. I mean, I imagine if that was a plan that you had, you would have made that happen in the first place.
Yep. The note says, "One of us is not who we appear to be. Be safe."
Okay. So yeah, with that, do make a sleight of hand check real quick.
Oh, that didn't go well at all. Oh, well, kind of went okay.
Yeah. All right. So you do that, and it doesn't appear that anyone has noticed, as both the fellow and Nugatsa move away from the table, leaving the four of you with the remains of your dinner.
Time check. She says as she looks around to figure out if it is time to leave for the bar that she was told.
You figure that it's probably got maybe another hour or so before you'd want to head over to the tavern.
Well, in which case, she will leave in 30 minutes because she wants to get there early and scope out the competition.
All right.
Hey, Drew, you probably know some good like pre-fight songs, right? Like get the audience warmed up kind of thing.
I mean, that's not really the type of music I normally play, but I could try.
I don't think it was, I guess you kind of saw Perunyia fight. I feel like Perunyia deserves a really great like introduction-y fight song. You're already a great fighter, but you know, really good music really helps. So,
I could use a theme song. That's a true story. We'll
Yeah,
have to try a couple out though, because I'm very, very picky when it comes to singing.
Yeah, I'll work with you. We'll find something. We'll find something that works.
Shay gets up to follow and doesn't even like sigh about it because she's just grateful that she got the day of the afternoon to herself. So she's like, all right, back on babysitting duty.
And Perunyia turns to Shaylin. So, how much can we wager for tonight? Do we have like a budget?
Um, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. Um, how about she actually goes to I can't remember how much we have at this point, Danny. I know we picked up quite a bit at this point. Um,
There's
so
even some you don't know about.
um, let's do. I don't know. I
So
want
half,
to.
half of our money should be a good amount, right? That seems reasonable.
I was gonna do 25, but how about 50?
Is that half of how much we have? Because yes, that sounds great.
Ish.
Yeah, that sounds great. She doesn't do a lot of math.
I feel like that's something that we have plenty of. So
Um, yeah, you know that there's probably somewhere around 1,000 gold pieces worth of money between the lot of you that you know about.
that's fine. And largely, I know we haven't really done this in game, but we have said early on that I was trying to be the treasurer so that mistakes didn't happen again. Um, so actually knowing that we have that much, and being very proud of Perunia for asking, I'll give her 100 gold pieces to wager.
Yes.
There you go, Perunia. You'll be able to wager 100 gold pieces. Not on yourself or for your own fight. That would be rather gauche, but
It would
you
be
know,
because Perunyia is totally okay with being a ghost. So
well, but you know, Panabon wager on your behalf or
oh, okay.
what
Yes,
have you,
I
right?
hand it to Panabon to wager on my behalf. Since
Ooh.
apparently Shaylin told me that's gauche because Perunyia didn't know that.
Yeah.
I am not observant enough to know the
But I think Perunia would know that.
I
Just
mean, I
because
guess I've
that's
been in
like,
fighting pits enough that yeah, I guess
yeah.
that's general knowledge enough. Yeah.
false modesty is uh recommended.
It's too close. It's also too close to like hinky stuff that like people would end up taking a dive or trying to like change the like
That's fair.
the pool, the outcomes, you know, like it doesn't fix it or solve it, but it's just like let's at least pretend like we don't do this kind of thing is what that's about. So um as you finish up, you do note that if you wanted to leave with Perugia, unfortunately for Panamon, uh, and maybe for Drew, but it feels like Panabon is more the one who wants this to happen. That leaving with Perunia and spending some time in the restaurant to play music on the piano are things that both can't happen.
There's more time.
There may
I
be a
feel like,
piano at the
yeah.
tavern.
Ooh. But it's also like there's time to enact the plan that Panabon has. So like so I think it'd be good use of time to work on the fight theme for Perunia. Because I know you haven't seen Perunia fight as much, but Perunia really needs a great fight theme, and I believe you have the skills to do it, Drew.
Hold on, really? Really needs anybody? I really need that.
It's a showman thing. It's just a thing that accentuates your already great prowess. You know.
All right, cool. Just so we're straight.
It's just a showy thing. It's a yeah, it's a thing that you can have to make everybody even more excited about what it is that you're doing.
punching people in the
Sure.
face.
which is
Just
punching people
face.
in the face.
I think to really get the essence of Perunyia, I need to watch her fight first, and then we can work on the fight and ballad. But I just feel I need to watch her to get the essence of her.
All right. That's Perunyia seems to like that Panabon.
It's the art of punching people in the face. Also, this tavern probably is going to have popcorn. I'm hoping.
There will likely be some snacks available for purchase. Yes.
Like snacks available for purchase. Snacks available for purchase while you punch someone in the face. I mean, that's all I want out of life right now. You know,
It's the simple things.
it's a great night off from being like a single dad. No, it's a good night off or a single mom.
you do need some alone time as a parent. No, I hear.
Single parent, yeah. It's a thing. Like it's a single parent's night out. It's great. Yeah.
It's been less than 24 hours. I need a break.
Feels like a month.
Skip the whole newborn stage, but yes, got it. All right, so with that you head down, and if you're looking at the map,
Oh my.
so you've got the hotel is where you're staying. That is a circle. That is not what I asked for. Program, do what I told you. So this is a hotel. And then 3 doors down from the hotel is a tavern. And this tavern up in the front, it does say Francie's, and you can hear some lively piano music issuing forth from this tavern.
Before we enter, can I do a thing to make sure that there's like no shady characters just hanging around town, this frontier town on the edge?
I feel like there will be shady characters and hanging.
Yeah,
out.
but I prefer them inside a building as opposed to outside a building where I can't keep an eyeball on them.
Ah.
Make an insight check.
Or will I be the most shady person in the town?
I mean, doesn't seem that too far of a stretch. It's a small place.
Am I the drama? I must be.
So I'm not the drama. With that 12, you do not see anyone in particular outside that seems any more or less shady. This is a different sort of environment for you, right? You're used to you're used to bigger cities. Like this town, there's maybe a few hundred people that live here. And most of them are probably people that are just involved in some way or another with building the railway and building the station here. You're used to Flonopafel, which is it's the capital of Palakun. You're used to Merkuldashta, which is a huge port city. You're used to Gilaludi. You've been to smaller places, but those places don't have big guilds that operate in ways that you understand.
And one of them had water demons. Lest we forget the water demons.
They didn't even have a guild. They had water demons instead. Yeah, so, like, who knows? So it's hard for you to get a measure in this place of who is a ruffian and who's just like a roughneck, you know? And that's maybe a little bit off-putting for you. You do know that Einaland supposedly is not like what you've heard of like thieves guilds in Einaland is that there's like some centralized guild that like is over all of the entire empire, which is weird to you.
Fools.
But yeah, that's you know, that's mostly what you know, and you don't really know or recognize them to the extent that you would be able to point someone out.
Oh, I do take a moment to draw an eyeball on one of the side alleyways in case our dear friend Roslia comes back so they can track our journey. So there's an eyeball on the side of the building now. And the graffiti that she has not been told to look out for upon her return.
That makes sense. Stepping into this tavern, it's a fairly standard affair. You imagine for a just like a sort of like a frontier town-esque bar, a little more put together. It's not just it's not slapdash. It's not just wood. There's it's definitely a solid structure that has been here for a minute and is intended to be here for some time, but it's not anything particularly fancy. There is a piano and like just a very small stage next to the piano, kind of tucked in the corner, opposite the bar itself. There's some space near that stage where there's no seating, there's no chairs or tables, perhaps for dancing or for people to stand and like be rowdy with whatever performers there are. Dangerously close to the bar, so people who would be doing that would be like kind of pushing up on people that were at the bar. And then in the front, there's a few like tables and benches and chairs and the like. There's quite a few people in here. It is a rowdy place. Everybody who has spent most of the day out in the sun, heavy labor, this is one of the places apparently that they go to unwind after a full day. And it's loud and rowdy.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Like,
Oh, go ahead.
since it smells like dirty man, I'm going to wear a handkerchief around my nose and cast prestidigitation to make it smell all better.
Perunyia doesn't have the problem with the scent. Smells like home. She looks around to see if her friend Roger from earlier is at all present and if she can see anyone else who looks like the fighting type.
So the answer to the first question is not immediately, and you can make a perception test to kind of go with that. So not immediately. And that doesn't surprise you because Roger, when he ran into, he wasn't necessarily the biggest guy, and there's a lot of big people in here, which leads to the second part of your question. Yes. Yes. And also, yes, maybe not them so much, but yes. Yeah. These are, I mean, they're all laborers. They're all folks who probably, with the smallest amount of provocation, be happy to throw hands.
Oh, they sound lovely though. Do any of them play cards?
There are cards going on here. And there is a singular woman tending the bar, and she is basically just taking a few orders, but mostly just putting drinks out in front of folks. It's kind of as if she just knows what folks want, where they're at, and what they need. And she is kind of like forecasting the needs of everybody and just kind of working ahead of them.
So Peruni's gonna look around for an empty table. I don't know how busy it is in here. If I think that we're gonna find a table, or if we should just head to the bar. My perception was no good, so I have not seen Roger yet.
Yeah, there's definitely not an empty table right now.
I look over. I could make an empty table happen if I start poking ankles, they'll really empty out the tables.
Well, we're looking for a fight tonight. That's not the kind of fight we're looking for. So she will saddle up to the bar. Um, and she's not wearing her normal pack today, since she knows that she's not needing swords likely. And she's just gonna take off her leather, so she's in her fighting gear, as she would call it, which is her leather pants and her leather vest. Takes off the duster, and she'll lean over to the bar and say, 2 beers, please. And then she looks around. Oh, and what do you guys want?
All right. Thanks.
I'll just have some tea for now. Thank you.
Don't know if they serve tea here. Next.
I'll just get some whiskey. They probably got whiskey here.
Whiskey and 2 beers, ma'am. And she puts
So-
some coins on the table.
That's a fun night. That's a fun night.
She nods as the coins quickly slide away and disappear, and then she whisks off, moving through. She's obviously been doing this for a while. She's very fast. She's got her system set up, and it's just like not even a minute later, you've got 2 beers and a whiskey in front of you. The whiskey comes with the bottle itself. There's about a third of the bottle left, probably enough to pour maybe 4 or 5 additional shots. And that probably matches with the amount of coin that you put on the bar.
But this is going to be a fun evening.
There's a performer playing at the piano. They're not professional. In fact, once you get a good look, it's definitely someone who spent the day putting down railroad ties and now is spending their evening drinking and playing tunes, just lively sort of piano jingles. And other than that, yeah, it's like I said, there's a few people playing cards. There's no open tables. There's barely space at the bar to stand.
I would engage some of the locals in conversation. Perunyia is very outgoing. Also, like, she's hard to miss because she's kind of large. So I would probably join some of the fellows in the conversation to the left and the right of me and say, "So, you all work on the railroad around here?"
Yeah, yeah, pretty much every day. We're out there, doing the thing. Sturkey pays pretty good.
Yeah, good, honest work. Good workout too, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard work, and it's hot work, but once we're done with the money we set aside, and then they start, one's like, I'm going to start a business when I go back home, and another one talks about like traveling the world, and everyone's got their dreams. A few of them want to go to the new continent and try to find their riches out that way somehow, etc.
I'd probably ask if anyone's been to Palacude.
None of them respond in the positive. They all kind of, I've never been. One of them, yeah, I meant to go, but you know how it goes. I mean, that's why I'm out here, and on and on.
Drew would like to go up to the semi-drunken person playing the piano. And she doesn't want to offend anybody. So she kind of leans over and says, "How about I play and you sing the ballads for me? You and your buddies."
Just he looks up and like kind of double takes as he sees you, and his jaw just kind of is his mouth just kind of open just a little bit, just this like sort of slack jawed expression for a minute, and then one of his buddies like just hits him on the back. Get up, let the lady sit. And yeah, and then he jumps up out of his seat and he like indicates that you should definitely take a seat there.
I sit down and just tell me what you want me to play, and I'll play, and you guys can sing. And then I just proceed to whatever ballad they call out. I start playing. After a while, I imagine she gets kind of into it, and it's like the scene in Back to the Future where like he's like going ham on the guitar and everybody's stopping staring at him like what is going on. I imagine at some point she like gets like that, and then she like sorry and goes back to playing the ballads.
Sure. Give me for this particular role, give me a history check actually.
Oh dear. Okay. A 9?
Okay. So you know most of the songs that they call out. So you have the benefit of being Melvetti in terms of just yourself. And you're also like this is kind of the opposite side of the country, but you're from Edavund. This is your country originally. This is the country of origin. So you know a lot of the songs. You even know a lot of the more Avundian songs that are asked for. It's only certain songs that are like very local that you kind of like, I don't know that one necessarily. But because you know most of the songs they're calling out, everyone is just really into it. They're singing along, and it's just they're singing along. Everyone's having a great time, and nobody is upset at all. There's like when you go a little bit long on one of the solo parts of the song, they like a couple of them kind of like start singing in, trying to predict where they're going to come in at, and then you get to the end of that and they realize, oh, we're supposed to come in now, and that's when they finally come in. That's where you feel like you got a little carried away. But other than that, it's a great evening as about an hour passes very quickly. Panabon, are you doing anything in particular?
Well, you know how those people were playing cards? I know I'm supposed to be keeping a low profile because we're technically on the run, which is why I'm not on the stage because I'm growing as a person and it's really annoying because I really want to be the center of attention. But those people playing cards are probably going to start noticing that every now and then there's like an extra ace or two coming into people's hands, just like, yeah.
So you're not
Nowhere.
playing cards. You're just messing with their game.
I'm just like adding aces slowly to see how long before there's either like someone notices or just like doing like a circuit of the bar, and every now and then I'm just like adding an ace like on a person's like shoe or in their sleeve or just like literally on the table, just every now and
Oh,
then.
we
Just
fighting tonight for sure. Damn.
Yeah, so give me a sleight of hand check. This is going to cover the entire course of you doing this.
Don't screw it up.
Okay, you did not screw it up.
it's single night out. I have to have fun.
Yeah. And you watch as like the effects of some of these tricks that you've played on folks sort of manifest, where one of them will accuse another one of cheating, or they'll find one of the cards, and in most cases you're actually a little bit disappointed in like how quickly and easily they just kind of like either accept that they didn't really know what was going on, or that they weren't trying to cheat. You realize that these are guys that are they're out together all day long, and so they all know each other really well.
If Perunyia
And
wasn't fighting, I'd be stabbing someone right now.
even to the extent of like the worst cheating, like they'll say something that that would be, you know, like just like a self-deprecating statement, like if I was cheating, like, you know, uh like I would have already won already, or like, you know, you'd have caught me long before, whatever. um and it's just it's not going necessarily the way that you'd like, um until one table someone actually does get a little bit out of hand, and there's almost a fight that starts there, but a rather um, a wiry fellow, tall, wiry, with a and you can tell with a prosthetic steam powered arm, kind of puts a stop to that as well. Um, Shayloon, anything in particular for you?
Yeah, I would like to kind of keep notice on Drew. Um, so she's getting all into this piano playing here. Where's her bag?
With me.
In
Like on the ground
so
next to you?
Like, nice try.
Yeah, it's
insofar as she's brought hers, right? Like, I mean, you don't have like you only have like a small bag that's got pretty much everything,
mhm. I have a small bag, and then I have the case for my loot.
right?
And I would have put it next to me, next to the bench that I'm sitting on, next to the piano.
So I would like to
Oh boy.
cast invisibility on Minya and have Minya go take a sneaky look through that bag, and I'm gonna look through Minya's eyes, and
Starting to think you don't trust me.
I, I have issues.
Okay.
It may not be you, it may be me, unless I'm right. Then it's entirely you.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that. Give me a perception check with at disadvantage.
Perception is under skills, not actions. All right. Oh, at disadvantage. Sorry. I'll roll that again.
Okay. Um, if there's anything suspicious about this bag, it's that there's really not a lot in here. That would be like the most suspicious thing. Um, there's I mean, what kinds of things does Drew have in her bag?
Um, she has um a little book, like a journal, like a leather bound journal. Um, and if you were to like read the journal, it's mostly um interesting people that she's met on her travels, um scribblings of song lyrics that she thinks of, or poems, and a lot of them are like scratched through when she doesn't like it, and then stuff like that. um there's not a lot of personal items besides the journal. There's, maybe a change of clothes in the bag, um, some extra strings for her lute, stuff like that. So just like things that she would use as a musician, basically, is in the bag, and some extra clothes.
Really interested in the journal, and like just kind of eyeballing and making sure that nothing says like note to self, Thursday, murder Panabot and Shayloon. Like just that like I if you are going to be around, I want to know that it's just like I did with Lex. That it's
In
a
the
legit
book, you would have found your names, because you are interesting people that she has met. And next to the names, there would be like little blurbs about you. So like it would be like Shayloon, very studious, a little quiet, untrusting, Panabon, a lot of fun, going to teach me to play cards, going to teach them how to play instruments, stuff like that. So just
Wait,
like
what
little
does it
like
say about
personality.
Perunyia?
Perunyia,
No.
very large, very nice. Don't get on a bad side.
Write in my own journal, Drew, bad taste.
By the way, before Roger sidles up to you whenever he's going to enter the scene, I'm just going to make sure I get contact with Perunyia, and I go, as I'm sipping the last of my whiskey, so if you win your fight, when you win your fight, I will tell you the thing that I learned today, and it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I don't really like studious things, but I will try to be interested.
Oh, this isn't studious. This
Oh.
is. Oh yeah, I will tell you when you win your fight, or after you've won your fight. We have a moment after you've won your fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking around here, I kind of feel bad about taking money from these honest folks. Maybe we should lower our wager a little bit.
I mean, like maybe Flint will show up or something.
I mean, in that case, we will bet all the money. But without
I mean,
Flint being
wait, so did they invite you to fight?
yeah. I mean, wouldn't you invite me to fight if you had a fight? Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I would have given you a theme song by now, actually. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't feel bad about it. They invited you. If they're like really looking for a Dragonborn beatdown, I'm not gonna stop them.
They're nice folks. I've
Yeah,
never been in this kind of small town place. Interesting.
yeah. I mean, I mean, the buildings aren't tall enough. I can't like leap off of anything. But you know
No.
what? Small sacrifices. Small sacrifices. And we did almost get squeezed to death. I almost got squeezed to death by that.
Yeah.
We didn't care for that. Less of that. I would like less of that on the journey.
I don't feel like it's this town's fault. I mean, that feels
Oh.
like an us thing.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
I do miss lizards on a stick. Like, I think from the desert, that's the thing that I will miss the most. Lizards on a stick.
Yeah, they were decent. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like
Anyway,
that
I'm
oasis.
excited.
I'm
I'm
building the
excited.
water. This is pretty
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
It's nice. I'm
It's been
excited.
really relaxing.
It could have been. I wonder if they had like. I heard about this thing where they put like things on your feet, and you get on a boat, and they like pull you out to water. Like you're on the boat, and like you go out in the water, but you're like next to the boat with like a rope.
That would have been convenient when we were fighting those water demons. Actually, we should figure out how to do that. Maybe Shayloon could actually make those for us. Now that seems like a good use of time.
I've only heard about it, so I don't actually know how it works. I think you're above the water, though. Oh no.
And I would then introduce Panabon, Rogelio Sr., to the friends that I have made over there.
Okay.
Do any of you have children? Any tips for someone who's just become a father? Mother.
Yes, and they proceed to give you tips that just don't pertain to your situation. As you get tapped just under your shoulder from behind as Roger is there, and he's got a vest. His hair's cut short. He's got maybe a quarter-inch beard that goes from his all the way down the sideburns and then connects to his mustache. Very young and very excitable, and he looks at everybody else and says, I see you've met all the riffraff already. And with that, we are going to stop for right now and take a quick 10-minute break and get back to everything on the other end of that. Hello, we're live again, back. Okay, so when we left, we had just gotten the hello from Roger, who then did a 100% like dude bros at the office, like, oh, these guys kind of thing. And he looks to Perunyia. Wow, you actually showed up. I wasn't sure you were going to.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's, small town, not much to do anyway. Yeah, of course I want to check out the local fight scene.
I mean, it's not like a big deal. We've got like, most of the guys here that are, into it. They mostly just kind of fight each other back and forth, and most of them are pretty evenly matched. But like the best fighter here, the guy, like if we were to send a representative to like fight somewhere, it'd be Stewart, and he's just, he's like a few levels above the other guys. Like it's just the way it goes, right? So it's just really exciting to maybe have someone new for him to to square up against, and it's not a big deal, right? Like it's not a big deal, but it's everyone's going to be really excited, and it's just, I think it's gonna be fun, and so some people are probably going to put some money down, and we'll see how that goes, but it's gonna be fun. I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's who are your friends? Here.
Yes. Traveling companions, and I gesture towards Shayloon at the bar. Panabon likely hanging around. He was talking parental guidance with us, so he should be in my vicinity. And then I'll probably gesture towards Drew at the piano as well. Just some of my traveling companions from the train.
No. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I'm sure that they'll probably want to head over. So we could go over now, or you got a few minutes, I guess. But most of the folks are starting to trickle out that way. That are gonna go over, if but if you're ready to go, or not, or if
Well,
you.
since we don't know where exactly we're going, I think I better go with you. So why don't I quickly gather up my companions and we'll follow you out?
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll be right outside then, and I'll just wait for you right outside.
Thanks, friend.
All right.
And she will go probably find Shayloon first because I think she's sitting at the bar where I had left her.
Yeah, there's like a moment where a guy, um, as you move up, the bartender actually like breaks her flow to lean in towards you and is like, "You should probably keep an eye on your friend." I had to like stop a couple of guys from just kind of messing with her a little bit. She just seemed kind of like she was lost in space or something. Wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, and no one did anything. I mean, there's no one like that here, but like they're like doing this in front of her face and kind of having a little bit of a laugh, and.
Yeah, she suffers from a condition. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah,
I'll
okay, yeah,
keep an eye out.
yeah. I had him stop, but I just never can't be too careful.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
felt like she was like reading something or something, but like,
Yeah, no, I duck, but we love her anyway. And I thank you for keeping an eye on my friend. And I tip her again. As I go up to Shay Luna and go, "Come on, honey," and I like maybe more force than need to pick her up off the stool and make sure it's time to go. And I don't know. I will look at her to see if she still has the vacant look in her eye. Does she?
As soon as I found out what I found out, I'm back. I leave Drew alone the rest of the night.
yeah. So she, so she is back.
Hi, Shaylin. We're gonna talk
I'm
about this later.
I'm more concerned that you called me honey. Something must be wrong.
Uh huh. Yeah, something is wrong, definitely.
What
And then
happened?
uh, you were vacant. You were in Minya. I don't know you were. You were elsewhere. Yeah. Don't you know? Like you're gonna do that. You need to have somebody watching over you. Like that's. Anyway, we're leaving. Anyway, grab Drew. I'll grab Hannibal.
I'm
I roll my
actually,
eyes
uh,
at
I,
Tim.
I'm actually currently over by Drew, like passing the last shot of whiskey their way. I'm like, I know you said you wanted tea, but you did a really good job. And honestly, it's pretty good whiskey. I'm not just saying that because I've had 4 shots of it.
Well, thank you. And she like stops playing the piano with one hand for a second and grabs it and takes a shot and keeps playing.
God, you're so talented. I'm so jealous.
Oh, you have your own talents.
It's true, but I can't use most of them these days because we're on the run. But you didn't hear it from me.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
That's true. Anywho, I think we're going. The cute stuttering guy totally got a crush on Perunyia. Don't say that. She gets upset when you tell people they have crushes on her. Like said something, and so I think we're heading to wherever the fight is.
All right. Just 1 second and finish up the song and all right. And like waves to all of like the drunken people that were singing with her. Have a good night, y'all. And gather my bag and put my loot in my case and get ready to go.
Do you want to keep the bottle in case you need it for like protection or something? Because I know that you've got like things that you do, but it's always good to have like a bottle to smash on someone's head.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, there you
Takes it
go.
and just kind of holds on to it. Just kind of excited at the thought of like smashing it inside
You
somebody's
never
head.
know. It's always good to plan.
You were right. Thank you.
Plus, free bottle.
This is very true. You never know when that's going to come in handy.
You never
Free
know.
bottle.
Free bottle.
Okay. Yeah, so with that, you all make your way outside, and Rogers is standing there. And he nods and all right, so yeah, what we're gonna do is just gonna cross over the tracks and cross into this alley right there, and then we'll duck through, and there's just a nice little kind of spot hidden away from just passersby or what have you, and that's where we're gonna head. And so on the map, this is where you're ultimately heading, to this little area in here. We can actually do this. Yeah. So, and he just kind of takes off. You can see a few folks just from around milling about. There's a few folks that are kind of walking over that way. And when you get there, there's not a ring per se. There's a it looks like they might have dug out some of the ground to put sand in it. So there is like a sand pit. There's no like ropes or gates or walls or anything. And that kind of vibes with what Roger said about mostly it's just these are the guys here that it's almost like a local MMA like studio, right? Where like that's where just a bunch of people go and they train and practice and stuff. And every once in a while they do like some exhibition matches and people try to bet on them and what have you. But tonight there is. This is also one of those places where like there wouldn't necessarily be a lot of people. There'd be like a few people and they might host a thing and so. But like tonight, there's a lot of people here, and by a lot of people, some of those a lot of people are people from the train. And some of those a lot of people, as Roger points out, he's like, whoa, wow, there's a bunch of people here. They must have heard this is going to be like a real thing going on. So that's great. There's just whoa, wow, big ladies come down. And he points over to a you can see at this point that there is there's the man that you saw from dinner that came and got Nugatza Senato, and he appears to be escorting a woman, looks to be maybe in her 30s, maybe somewhere in there, with sort of loose curly brown, like brown hair that's in like loose curls. She is. They found a spot where they can see everything, but it's kind of like up on a not like a balcony, but like maybe like a porch, like one of these buildings like has like a back porchish kind of thing. And so she's up on that with this fellow as they're watching, and he gives a little bit of a wave in that direction, smiling, jovial, like, hey, and they both kind of, the woman doesn't, you don't even know if she saw him. The man looks and he doesn't smile. He doesn't give a nod. You can tell that he noticed, but his expression at a glance is not really readable. And standing with them on the porch are a few other individuals. And Panabon.
Bonjour.
Upon seeing this group of people, you recognize one of them. There is a he's it's a human male, a little bit short for a human male, like maybe 5'6", maybe 5'7". He is
Danny, I would tread carefully in real life. I am 5'7", so just letting you know. Not short. I'm average height for an American male.
short for a male in Melvedi, where the average height is about 5'8".
I don't care that much. It's all right.
Not aggressively short, right? Like people that are like dudes that are 5'4" and have to like prove themselves all the time, but about 5'6", 5'7", and he has his brown hair is he's it's basically a mullet. He's got a mullet. It's graying on the sides. He's got a sort of a scraggly mustache, and that goes out a little too far to the sides, and a patch. It would be a soul patch, but it's like wide. It's just like a wide soul patch.
Like a
And
Van
maybe
Dyke?
no. It's like it's like it's like his chin is too wide, and it's just like a block of beard hair that is there trying to be something. And uh he looks like a fella that's, he's kind of been through a bunch and is not super, he's not like taking care of himself, is what it looks like. And you recognize him because many years ago, before you were this iteration of Panabon, when you lived in a smaller city, maybe it was a town. It was definitely bigger than a village. You would never cop to anything smaller than a town.
Ever lived in a village? What kind of person do I look like? That's not a
Yes, it was not a village.
Not a hamlet, not a village. It had an exact number of people to be a town.
It's at least a town. At least
a town.
Minimum size place that Panabon has ever lived is a town, for sure. Where you might have actually worked as a person doing a thing that seemed sort of standardish. And of course, the recollection of how everything went down is just, it's a little hazy, and much of it probably doesn't matter. But, the kindest way to put it, if you were to tell somebody about this person, is that they're one of the people who kindly nudged you onto your current life path. Shall
Oh boy.
we say.
Oh boy, and how fun. I'm going to I'm just going to attempt to blend into the crowd. No need to no need to raise a ruckus. That's not my job here. Perunyia is going to raise all the ruckus, and if I just happen to be like sandwiched between two very tall people, or like just off to the side somewhere in profile with the hood up, who's gonna know it's me? It's fine. Lots of people have buttercup yellow skin in Caiaphas. It's a very common skin
And
tone.
bejazzled eyebrows.
But this may have been before the eyebrows. But yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just going to blend into the crowd, and I'm sure nothing will happen, and I'm sure no one is noticing the expression flitting across my face as I'm making sure to blend into the crowd. I'm sure everything is fine.
Yeah, is nobody noticing if anyone wants to make an insight check as Panabon suddenly throws their hood up?
Look around for like cute little pickpockets trying to learn how to be dangerous and of the night, but this is good too. This is fine.
Make one at disadvantage just because I am not. I'm still butthurt with Panabon, so I'm like not trying to look, but I also know Panabon well enough at this point that
Sure.
insight. Sorry, it's very small on my laptop screen.
Nice. Yeah.
An 18 was meant to be.
It's true.
You do get a sense that something has caused an emotional sort of impact. Hard to say exactly what or why, and I wouldn't say you noticed what was the impetus of that. But there's something extra dodgy about Panabon right in this moment.
I'm gonna keep my eye on him, on them.
Yeah, as Roger brings you in, and he walks over to this very large fella, and this fellow he's a big guy. He's not as tall as you. That would be
I'm 6'5".
very. That would be pretty tall, but he's only just shorter. So you would
Human.
say probably maybe a good 6'4", maybe 6'3". It's hard to say, whenever you're looking, it's like hard to say exactly how much taller you are than other people. But you would say this person's about 6'3", 6'4". He is broader than you on the shoulders, and he is a stack of muscles. He is not wearing a shirt. He's got work pants and work boots, and he's got some brown suspenders holding up those work pants. And he's got a green bowler that he's wearing. And he's, you can't tell what his haircut is like under the bowler, but he's got a neat and trim sort of goatee with mustache. It's red hair, and he's kind of like he's got freckles, and they're the freckles that they kind of extend down into like the upper part of his body on his shoulders and stuff. And he's as you walk up with Roger, he just looks over and he's like, "Oh, hey, well, hello. I'm Stuart. Nice to meet you." And he extends a hand.
And the perception I rolled was to see how friendly he was. So I think that answers the question for me. And I go, "Yep, you must be Stuart. Yep, they're as big as you say. Nice to meet you." And I
Yeah.
hug his hand.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's like these guys are great, and he points over to like, some of the other fellows that you take to then be other people that are part of the fighting crew here. He's like, these guys are great, but like I'm at a point where I gotta cut like 3 at a time, just to work up a sweat, and it's nothing, it's not anything on them, and not, it's just, we're out here in the middle of nowhere, right? So what are you gonna do? So it's just, it'll be fun. I've heard that you've got some like ring experience.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of formal training, but hey, any fighter, any given day.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you got to. Yeah, so this is going to be really fun. I think a couple of these folks are going to, like, uh, warm up the crowd a little bit. Like Rogers, he's been out telling everybody about this all afternoon.
Nice, got a
And
bit of a crowd, hey, yeah.
yeah, so I think he's trying to make a show of it. So I think he's got you got some you're warming the crowd up, right, first. And Rogers like, yeah, I'm gonna I got Henry and Jonathan. They're gonna go first, and then we'll have some folks come out and do some other things as we rake up the sand and stuff, and then you'll go out. It'll be great.
If you want my friend Drew to play something, I bet she would. I think she's got a lute with her.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we could do that. Like a friend of yours is here. Also, yeah, it's great. This is all really coming together. Not last minute at all. And he just says, do you need anything to drink? I noticed you had like a couple of beer steins. Are you good? You need anything?
I got a water. No, I don't need much. Any local rules that I should be aware about? No weapons? Seems fairly
I mean,
standard.
yeah, it's just brawn on brawn, and is no hitting below the belt or whatever. Your rules. Stuart just kind of laughs at him.
Just
Yeah,
fantastic.
I mean, I don't know that there's any. I don't feel like you're gonna be underhanded, and I'm not out here trying to prove anything. So
Not just a friendly match.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do my best, but
I wouldn't expect any different.
all right. Well, that sounds great. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. So I just gonna get my own water and just kind of get loosened up over there. And if I'm just a space over there to stretch out and stuff if you need to. But other than that, I'll see you in a few minutes probably. Like, what do you think, Roger? I don't know. Like, those guys are gonna go about 5, and then maybe like 10 minutes between. So maybe 15, 20 minutes. We'll get it rolling. It's. I mean, it's almost like it's getting to be bedtime for most of these guys, right? So All right,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Good. And
I
so
go
Stuart.
over to the corner they said I should stretch in.
Yeah, so Stuart just takes a spot. There's a couple of other folks in there. They're stretching. A couple of them just kind of like as you walk in, they introduce themselves. There's a Jonathan, there's a Steve, there's and on.
I introduced myself as Avril to everyone.
Okay. Avenge. Roger comes up to you, Drew. Hey, so Avril said that you might be willing to just play a little bit of music or do a little something. We've got a couple of guys that are gonna do like a little bout or what have you, and then we're just gonna have some like music and stuff before we get everything else rolling and give people some time to like lay some wagers. But Avril said you might want to play something on your dealie there.
Yeah, I can do that. I can take requests from the crowd and kind of get them pumped up for the fight.
Yeah. Whatever you got. So we got just so you know, there's that lady over there. That is the local executive for Streak A. So that's my boss. And then the guy with her's the foreman. He's kind of I don't like that guy. But anyway, so they're here. They're like the top. They're like everyone's bosses kind of thing. So it's interesting that they're here. I mean, she's come out a few times. He'll come out from time to time. Usually, I don't like that guy. Anyway, and the guys that they're sitting with, those guys are they kind of manage some of the money that kind of comes through and back and forth. So it's actually with them that I manage like the betting and stuff. Go ahead and give me a history check.
Oh dear.
Okay. That doesn't ring any sort of bells with you right in the moment.
Okay.
But yeah. So they're who I'm going to run kind of money through. Make sure that everybody gets, everybody pays what they're supposed to pay, and that everybody gets paid out what they're supposed to get paid out. So yeah, maybe just like kind of keep clear of that area, I guess, unless you want to like get bogged down and like talking about something. I mean, I don't know. I get a little nervous around like high up muckety muck sort of folks. Like,
I think you're doing a lovely job. I'll stay away from them though.
yeah. I mean, I just try to steer clear for the most part. Like, I got to deal with them because, like, I run the besides like running the like betting stuff for those guys. I do like, I'm in accounts for Street Case, so I make sure. But that's why I'm like, but they're like, stuffy, and I like everybody else. So, and it's really funny he says that because he is like, this is a town where people work on building railroad, building structures. They're all like, it's construction people. And this guy is 100% pencil pusher. And you can see it when he is engaged with others that they do like him. He's a likable fellow, but they kind of, it's almost like, oh, cute Labrador kind of thing, So with that, he kind of steps away and he starts walking through and he's talking to various folks and doing his thing. Shayloon, is there anything else you're doing here?
I'm here to support my friend, and I am keeping a very close eye on Panabon. I do still have my book open, but it's like sitting in my lap with my like the pen mark is or the quill mark is just like leaking a bigger ink spot where I just have it holding still on the page, um, as I just am suspicious of what is happening with Panabon, but also go Perunyia, kick their ass.
Okay.
True
Panabon,
does
what
that.
about
Oh,
you?
sorry.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
Panabon, what are you up to?
Well, I'm torn because I really don't talk about the things that happened before I became the person that I am in Flammelfell. And so I wasn't really eavesdropping, but I can kind of tell because I know how crowds work that Soul Patch guy, who, if you don't mind, I gave them a name that I put in chat, but Soul Patch guy is over by where the betting people are. And I know I've said I'm going to go lay bets, but another part of me kind of is torn between trying to go to the office and forging documents to get him fired and also stabbing him. and I can't decide which direction I want to go with that. So I'm just kind of like standing there with my eyes, like I cannot seem to decide which would be the most destructive course of action, and I want to take them all. And I am somewhat frozen in my inability to do the thing that I would normally do effortlessly.
Make a insight check. All right, so this fellow that you're remembering from back in the day, and the name does come back to you. You never were like, you didn't have reason to question it at first, but thinking back, you don't think that Tannel McCoy was his real name. You feel like that was thinking back on it and knowing what you know, that's the kind of name you would have given somebody if you were going to if things were going to play out the way that they played out.
It's a good name. I hate him even more for that now. My ire just continues to grow.
And but what you do note is that he's here, and he is definitely at the beck and call of this other fellow that's there. And this guy, he has. You've been doing this long enough now. He has the temperament of someone in charge, and not. He's definitely not a worker, a laborer, and he is distanced enough from the woman and the guy that you know to be part of Starike that you don't think he's part of Starike either. But he's definitely in charge. And your guy is basically his gopher right now, as far as you can tell. Like he's working. Your guy is working for this fella.
The other part of this is that I know that if I do anything untoward, Shaylin can just nope me into oblivion. And so, like, there's also that is that I'm not stupid. I know I've been acting sus, so I'm being watched. I'm not. It's not a bad actual move for self-preservation. Um, hmm. I am going to place bets under the name Tannel McCoy. So if he actually hears it, he might wonder what's going on. But then I still get to make the wagers, and there's plausible deniability. And everything is just as normal as it was 10 minutes ago.
Okie dokie. And as a matter of fact, in a few moments, Roger does come by to take your bet. It is an even bet. There's no one really knows like what odds should be, and so there's enough respect for like everyone's hometown favorite and enough respect for this person who has come in that they're just calling it even odds, which is weird because like one of them could be way worse than the other, and then that would like be sad. But
that would be awkward for me, yes, but we'll find out.
And because of everything that's sort of going on, only Drew really even notices the first match. Perunyia is just kind of stretching and getting ready for the match itself. Panabon is definitely got their mind somewhere else, and then with Shaylin keeping an eye on Panabon. And at this point, there's definitely something going on. Like watching Panabon, watching them for the past few minutes, they definitely keep shooting glances up at the people that are sitting there. You're not sure which one necessarily, And the expression is really, well, it's not, it's because it's not the expression. There are expressions, and it's Panabon. So, like, there are expressions that range all across the spectrum of expressions. Like, some of them are like, is that anger? Is Panabon mad at somebody? But then Panabon's kind of smiling at something now. What's that about? Like, so it's
There's my,
just a
there's my
really,
seagull noise that I make when I'm panicked. We've experienced seagull noise.
yes. So there's definitely something happening there, and watching that is a fascinating show in and of itself. And so you don't notice the first fight either. Music does kick up. There are some songs that Drew is asked to play when Drew comes out to play. Go ahead real quick for me and just give me a performance check, just to see how impressed the world is.
17?
17, pretty good. That loot is not just for show. And given like working with the odd acoustics of this like square inside this area, it's you actually give a fairly good performance. You find a good spot to like get a good reverb off the walls, and everyone's really pleased with that. You even get some applause from the command balcony, if you will. And then it's time for the main event, and Roger comes out. He's like, "Hey, everyone! Okay, so this is real exciting, and I know everybody is here just for this." So off the train, coming directly out of Vaishan, is the Dragonborn warrior Avril, and let me tell you, like, I mean, some of you have seen her. Like, there she is. She's tall and she's strong, and she's, you know, been in a few fights. I heard like she's actually like she actually beat the bandits that attacked. The whole reason the train stopped, everybody, is because bandits attack, and like I'm told Avril like took all of them out. So, you know, we've got a real fighter here. And so just, you know, for funds and, you know, a little bit of money, huh? We're gonna have Avril take on Stewart, and they're just gonna have a match, and it's gonna be a great time. And I'm real excited. I know Stewart's excited. Avril said she's excited. Everyone's excited. So let's get this on. Let's bring everybody out. So with that, Avril, the Dragonborn from Palacune by way of Vaishan. Yeah, and everybody's like, you know, there's applause. People are excited that you're out here. And it's good. It's there is no negativity in this crowd. Nobody is booing. Nobody is giving any negative energy. That said, Stewart is the hometown favorite, so all of the construction workers out here, they cheer very loudly when he introduces Stewart. And he's not introduced with any like record or what have you. So you do get a sense that he's just been out here kind of doing his thing. Just a big boy pounding stakes into the ground for a living and learning how to grapple in the evenings. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna run this.
Like we're on Thunder Road.
Like we're on Thunder Road. That's not how we're gonna do. All right, so there's going to be 5 not rounds, but 5 sort of like events. And each event is going to be determined through a strength or dex check opposed. So it's either athletics or acrobatics opposed. The winner is of the roll gets to narrate how that goes. So it's an exchange, right? So it could be anything from just like a flurry of punches, or it could be like a complete description of like, you know, a grappling sequence where there's like 3 reversals or something, whatever. if you win the roll by more than 5 points, or if you roll a 20, there's a chance that you have knocked the person out and brought them
Okay.
down. And then there is for you all best 3 out of the 5. So if you can win 3 rounds before the end of 5, then you will win. So with that, let me go ahead and since you have got a very large crowd,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and do that for you.
So that is.
Oh wait,
what
nope.
you referred to.
That should be 3.
Yep,
When you go to roll your athletics, you have a bonus there, and that's
Perfect.
because of your crowd pleaser trait. Because there's definitely a crowd here, so you play to that.
So I go in and I shake Stewart's hand, do the thing, do the nice, and retreat to my corner for what I can imagine will be whatever Roger has implemented to make a bell.
All right. So with that, that's not what I want. I want this. All right. So go ahead and give us that athletics check.
All right. And we're just doing this as like rolling the athletics, right? So here we go. Oh, an opening sequence.
Okay. So you both come out very strong, but you win that. So go ahead and describe for me how that's interesting. But yeah, go ahead and let me describe how that first flurry goes.
That's right. So, coming in, she is gonna go low where he goes high. So he intends to do kind of more of a traditional style, face to face, where they've got both arms to a more traditional grappling position. But as he goes in to grab the shoulders to do that classic move, she goes lower than he does and swoops around. So, kind of tripping him up and takes him to the floor, really just testing his strength now, not trying to do too much damage. So she wants to get a sense of how heavy he is. He is broader, but not as tall. So as she goes and she gets him into a position to get a couple good blows in, and probably, and this is still opening round, so gives him a little space. He might scoot out for a second. And she will let him regain his feet and just kind of nod to the crowd because, again, evenly matched odds were, so she just wants to give a crowd a sense of, hey, you know what, she knows what she's doing. And Danny is frozen, so I hope everyone just heard my wonderful sequence of events because I felt like that was really important. Okay, good.
Yeah, that was cool. Danny is just so flabbergasted that that he can't even react. So
Oh, we're not on Fantasy Grounds anymore either.
oh. Well, Perunyia punched so hard she took out Danny and Fantasy Grounds Unity.
Oh, universe!
I think you win.
So that was me rolling a 29 to start. So
you rolled a 29?
I rolled a 29.
Dang.
Like,
Well,
yeah, Drew, she's really good. Just like, we said, really good. Get your Eye of the Dragonborn ready. Like, that can be your.
Ooh, I like it.
That's
that
actually
is a good idea.
I actually have the lyrics written and I changed Tiger to Dragon.
Yes. course, I'm gonna
Well,
be accused
while
of heresy for. They'll be like, "That's Bot Skull TR." Like that's it. I'm like, oh, and there goes Danny
oh,
completely.
there he goes, which is gonna mess with our cameras. Um, so
But probably a
yeah,
good sign that he's restarting.
Does
So
anyone
right,
questions
right.
have chat about the? Anyone have questions about the streamathon? Would anyone like to know any more about that while we're waiting patiently?
Danny's back. Danny's back. Maybe.
we're
There's
getting
also a comic book coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday, so head over to remalternus.com/kick. Kick. Man, I lost my voice there at the end.
Yeah,
And follow the project so that you get the notification as soon as we launch.
and which moments do you think we're going to review on Tuesday? Because we've submitted a few of them. So, which moments from Like Clockwork's history are you hoping to see as
Ooh, that's a good
long-term
question.
fans
Yeah.
of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Hi, Danny. We already covered for you. Perunyia punched so hard she took out you and your PC.
Apparently, that's exactly what happened. I think my camera failed for whatever reason, and it caused the computer to just reset like instantly. Like I thought I had it would have been like a brownout, except my power didn't actually go out. It was just the computer. It was really weird. But then when it came back on, it was like USB no worky, and so I had to unplug and replug in the camera.
Ooh.
So
But Danny,
Well, we're
did you
glad to
figure
have
out
you
the cool stuff that I did, or did you lose me completely?
I lost you at the point where I went away, but that's okay because it's on Twitch.
Also true. Anyway,
It was
he
pretty
went
great.
high, I went low. I won that. Yeah, I let him get back up and a show of good sportsmanship because this is early on. But now that they know, I probably would have weighed some odds in my favor. But we'll see.
For sure. Okay, we're back up with Fantasy Grounds as well.
Yep, I'm loading right now, so I'll be in shortly.
For your next 29.
Well, let's hope for 30 this time, John.
Ooh, can you? I don't know what your highest is. I don't know what the highest is for
It
your
would
roll.
be 30, yes.
You're very good at this. Punching is what you do.
I'm very good at this.
Yeah.
I think your
I believe
highest
in you.
is 33 with the bonus.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot about the bonus. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
That
not a low number. It's like you were made for this or something.
I know it's crazy. At least Flint's not here, so
All of a sudden, Flint comes burrowing out of the earth as like the referee.
somebody said
You
my name.
shall not win.
Because he said I was made for this. Flint was really made for this.
all right. All right, so with that, let's go into the second roll of the bout then. Roll your athletics. Yep.
Oh, oh, oh! Why am I the only one owing? That's amazing.
Okay, so real quick,
Still got it.
let me check something. Your strength is
Hi.
Danny's computer breaks.
okay. So it is not. There's not a knockout, but go ahead and narrate round 2 of how you get the maintain the advantage.
All right, so I had let him get back up, and so now he and I are squaring off. And he comes in with a 1-2 punch combo. And she's gonna block. She's gonna turn, and she's going to kick. So it's a spinning back kick, basically, is what it looks like. And so when he comes down, he doesn't really, see what hits him. He just kind of goes flying across the ring. And he kind of hits the back, and he's like, Cool. He doesn't get knocked out. He maintains his consciousness, shakes it up, said, "Whoa, you know what you're doing there. I'll give you that." And he stands back up slowly.
All right, and he comes in for the third pass. Give us that roll.
Not quite as good, but let's see how he does.
All right, so this is a tie. So the two of you circle around, and then you come into a clinch. There's a lot of this is one of those moments in like MMA where there's just like it looks like not a lot goes on. Like if you're watching, like it's like nothing happens. But in the ring, like there's a lot of like power and strength being exerted. But you do both kind of come out of it, and uh, just kind of still holding tight, holding ground. Not necessarily come out of it, but we are going to go into the next roll.
Ooh, not a good one for me.
Oh, all right. And so go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Which is 16. It's on the main one, right?
On the main page on the right side.
Got it. Sorry. 11.
So you did roll the check instead of the saving throw.
Oh,
So you actually have a +6 because Constitution is one of your proficient saves. Because an 11 would have been a knockout, but a 14 passes.
Thank you.
So as you come out of the clinch, he spins it around and manages to get a to get advantage on a hold, and kind of drags you down to the sand, and is trying to get you into a lock, like a submission lock, and you're definitely you're almost pulled into a full submission lock, and are only able at like just kind of by kicking around to sort of break out of the lock itself and come back to a sort of standing position where you're both kind of backed up. He seems pretty surprised that you managed to pull out of the lock, but he's still got is maybe like it's a look of admiration or just respect or what have you as we're coming into the final roll of our match. This could be a draw.
I really want to use my benefits, but I feel like that would be cheating.
You can use your benefits.
Bad?
All right, so this is your winning story to tell. This is your third win, so you will win the match. And go ahead.
Yeah, so he got me in a pretty good clinch, had me worried there for a second. She manages to wiggle out. And so Perunyia takes a deep breath. All right, and so they come in for the next round. And she knows like this guy's strong, so if she's gotta end this, it's gotta be now. So last time she went low while he went high. This time opposite happens. He comes in low for a kind of a barrel hug to like lift her up and down, but she's not there. She's running behind him, does this move where basically she just drops his shoulders very quickly, and so he's on the ground kind of before he realized what's happened. But because he falls so quickly, he doesn't really tuck his chin quite as one does, as one is supposed to fall. And so surprise, almost knockout, and it happened very quick. So for the crowd's perspective, they were running at each other, and all of a sudden, one is on the ground.
All right, and he's kind of down. Roger runs in and he's like, "That's it, Brew just got it," and starts jumping up and down as a couple of folks come out. They pick Stewart up, they have him sit up, and he just kind of shakes his head, and you know, they seem to be talking to him, making sure he's like good to go, knows where he's at, etc. And he kind of gets up, a little bit unsteady, but comes over to you and puts an arm out to shake your hand, and as you do so, just kind of pulls you in like a very friendly, just sort of a hug, and as he does so, he says, "Wow, that was really good. Oh, I still got some learning to do before I'm ready to travel out, I guess. But wow, thanks so much for that." And then he kind of pushes back and nods, and
He goes, "Oh, you almost had me there," and does that very manly, clapping hug type thing where you clap each other on the back several times, as one does.
yes, yeah, all very above board. And then he's just like, "Oh, man, I need a drink. You need a drink? We should go get a drink."
Drinks.
And everyone just cheers at that, and people start making their way back to Francie's, the bar that you had come from. And as that's happening, Roger has skipped over to the other guys. There's some money dealing kind of going on, and Panabon, are you just kind of moving with the crowd? Or are you doing anything different at this point?
I am moving with the crowd, but because my hood is up, I was able to put myself into Panabon and Pakrin. So if there was a moment where Shaloon wasn't paying attention, it's enough for Panabon to slip. And while the crowd is moving, Panabon is going to start tailing Channel just to see what Channel's doing. Being an irresponsible parent, but keeping in character.
Very good. And we will find out perhaps who this Tannel fellow is, what they have to do with Panabon, and where they might lead our erstwhile rakish gnome. But yes, that will be perhaps not next week, but we will cover that later. For now, thanks so much for hanging out. I had a good time, as I always do, with these wonderful folks. And Tuesday, I'll be back here at 10 a.m. all day because we're doing the thing, and I'm excited. So other than that, join us all week long as Rem comes back online for all of our streams, and we will see everybody again next week, like clockwork.
Good evening, America.